Well, Reylu, you've had quite the interesting career so far. Tell us a
Yeah,
little bit
so
about your background. Your uncle was a rider. He won
yeah,
1,000 races in his career. Your
right.
dad was a trainer, I think.
Yeah.
But you didn't really have aspirations of being a jockey right away.
No, I didn't. My goal has always been to be a physical therapist. I fell in love with that. My mother's a nurse. My cousin's a doctor at the University of Rochester, and most of my family's in the medical field. So that was always my go-to, and going to university was always a priority for me, and getting my degree. And my family always harped on education, but I guess my summer job and my morning job before going to school was always the horses, and I never thought much of it. I just wanted to have fun with my dad, really, and well, I stayed pretty short, and the weight stayed pretty good. So they said, when I graduated, as every average American kid nowadays, a big time student loan, they said, why don't you just try it? And well, thank God we're here now.
Yeah, I mean, you grew up around it, so it was in your blood, but it wasn't. I mean, you didn't look at your uncle and say, man, that's what I want to do. You had other priorities at first. And I think at one point, you've always been a good athlete. You were actually a competitive lacrosse player.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, lacrosse, definitely that was my focus in high school, and my whole neighborhood, and all my friends growing up, and we're all still friends today in Victor, New York, and we just played lacrosse. And I was introduced to the sport pretty late, but I was able to pick it up, and credit to them. And I fell in love with it. I went through with it, and it just brought us a lot of success, and I really loved it, and I was very grateful for that.
Exercise physiology.
Yeah,
That's what you studied in
yeah,
school,
yeah.
and you talked about physical therapy, et cetera, et cetera. Does that help you at all with your career now?
For sure. So my uncle, I think he's one of the best riders I've ever seen. He brought Finger Lakes, but he had a weight issue. He's a little bit taller, and he always prioritized his diet and running on the track like some of the fellow riders doing right now.
Right.
And that my degree and my background, it definitely helped me because now I know I'm a shorter, stockier guy, and I know that to the public general, yeah, I'm short and everything, but also because I'm stockier, I can just consume. Like if I eat red meat, it won't come off as easy as white meat or salmon, and it just helped me a lot. And my degree and my professors at Cortland, they've really taken the time especially when I first started to help me out, get a good balanced diet, and also how to exercise and stay out of the hot box, and just to have a prolonged career. And kind of how we look at Mike Smith nowadays and how he's so athletic, and and how his body is adapted to his age.
So you get out of school. How does the riding career come about? I know that your first year, man, you were one for 65, I think. I mean, so
Yeah.
you had to learn. You had to learn by losing races at first. Did
Right.
you just get discouraged at all at the beginning?
No, so Bobby Atanasio, he's my uncle's agent, and I think they saw something in me. I didn't really see anything in myself. I just wanted to have fun, and they were like, "We're gonna put you on a lot of bad horses," and they had this plan for me. And a gentleman named Gil Grael, who was Louis Sai's agent, Cornelio Javier in Florida, he was my uncle. He's my uncle's friend, and the Finger Lakes backside, they put me on a lot of bad horses because everyone had this thing where they didn't tell me, and they were like, "We're gonna put you on a lot of bad horses so you get experience, so you can go somewhere and be a little bit more polished as a 10-pound bug." And I thank them a lot for that because that actually really helped me when I went to Gulfstream.
So it works. So 2018, you wind up being an Eclipse Award finalist despite the 1 for 65 start, which is quite an accomplishment. 2019, you have a really good year. You're riding Aqueduct, you're riding Gulfstream. You win the Tom Fool with Dushare for Mike Maker in 2019. But 2020 was a little bit of a challenge for you. Your percentage dropped. You
Absolutely.
wound up changing venues. Again, you talk about the ups and downs of being a rider
Yeah.
after having so much success early on and then having kind of a down year in 2020. Where were you at mentally?
Well, mentally, I was in a great place. I mean, I was a little discouraged with my results, but as just off the track, it was fine because my family always prepared me for that, and I saw the ups and downs. I mean, one year my uncle had to go to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to ride because his business really just went down, and so I knew that's part of the game and that's to come. And luckily I've been healthy, and I've been able to move forward. But during that time, I also went to Saratoga, and I knew where I was at. I was riding with some of the best riders in the world, and I knew that I was the youngest guy in the colony by far. Age-wise, I'm younger than everybody else, but as far as riding career-wise, some of these guys start when they're 16. I started when I was 21. So this is only my third and a half year of riding because I missed some months with the COVID break, and so I wasn't discouraged. I really just took it as I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn from the best, and during that time, I also bought my house in Finger Lakes, so it was actually a pretty exciting time too. So I would drive from Saratoga to Finger Lakes and back, and it honestly it led me back because when Saratoga was over, I felt like I was so much more polished and more that I can handle the ups and downs more. And I felt more confident. But now I went back home to ride, and it really just came together. I won a couple $150,000 stakes, $200,000 stakes, and I was able to just kind of be the big man on campus back home, and that's when it all really just came together. The house and riding at home, winning stakes, and then my main man, Jose Santos, he called me and he said, pack your bags.
All right, well, let's talk about that because in your career, your riding career, you've ridden at 23 different racetracks.
Yeah.
You've ridden at 13 different racetracks this year. Sam Houston, Lone Star, Remington, long ways away from New York, man.
Yeah. So it's just with Jose, it's kind of just. I want to give him a lot of credit because he's got different riders. We all know that his story, but he's really focused on me and he's really given me every opportunity to succeed. We have the same background, we have the same aspirations, and he was really just doing everything he can to get me to where we are now and to continue to move forward in the Kentucky circuit. And it's really just a credit to him and us just being like, hey, for this moment in time, we don't have wives and children. We can go anywhere with our own responsibilities, and we can just, hey, there's a live horse there, let's go. And we really took it to that level, and riding at Houston, then going to the Spring Aqueduct meet, then coming back to Lone Star, then Colonial, and then just shipping around this summer. It's just Jose. He does a great job.
He's been riding great over in Texas, and we went on to Colonial and had that huge meet, and every day he rides better and better, and he takes it super serious. And the homework he does, he watches all the replays, he's reading the form from the day that form comes out till before he goes out there. He's very well prepared before he rides a race. He's only been riding for 4 years. He can go as far as he wants. I truly do believe that. He's getting better and better every day, and as long as he stays committed and stays after it, which I know he will, he can be anything he wants to be.
So, Reylu, you've won over 100 races in 2018, 2019. This year, you've got 98 wins already with 3.5 months left. Part of your evolution, like you said, riding bad horses, a lot of losing earlier in your career, then riding with some of the best in New York and kind of taking a few lumps that way. And now you're riding at a high percentage. You're winning a lot of races. Next step time, man, we're talking about trying to break into the Kentucky circuit. Not easy to do for a lot of riders, but why do you think your timing is right?
I think my timing is right just because I have the opportunity to ride for Brett Calhoun and Johnny Ortiz, and that really, Brett's been supporting me for, the whole year, and I was able to win a stake for Johnny at Houston, and then that's kind of, evolution to over the past couple months. And going to Colonial, it was probably the best decision of my riding career, even though I think we won 9 races, but it was for Brett and Johnny and some good horses, a horse that's led me to ride her today here, and Brett Calhoun has given me a lot of confidence, and his assistant Jay Seaver as well. Just a lot of confidence, a lot of good horses, and to go from just being introduced to him at the beginning of the year to now riding some of his best horses for a gentleman that's won at very high percentages and millions of dollars, Breeders' Cups, that means a lot to me, and it just starts with them, and hopefully we can get on other people's radars, and we can keep going. I mean, we won for Brilliant Racing, and that was a big deal to me, and I saw the Foleys this morning, and so now they kind of know me a little bit personally, and I'm on the track, and just building a relationship with everybody, and I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, this morning at 5 in the morning, I kind of just went out there early and looking at the Twin Spires, and it was one of those most satisfying moments that hey, I'm here now, but there's a lot of work to be done, but I'm really happy to be here.
You mentioned Brett Calhoun, and he had a lot of very kind things to say about you.
We first kind of got introduced to Reylu this past winter, and he seemed like a very good kid, and he's got a great work ethic, and he's a very, very talented rider. I look for this guy to take off and be one of the future stars in the game. I really, really like the way he rides. He just seems to be making all the right moves right now, so he's been very impressive to us. We put him on some nice horses, and he's come through great for us, and we're going to try to put him on quite a few more. He's great with his business. I mean, he's a pleasure to work with. He's a very respectful, courteous guy. He's very respectful to the help. The help love him. Everybody's pretty excited about him right now. I'm pretty happy to have him in Kentucky. And he's kind of the new kid on the block. He's the young up-and-comer. We've got a veteran group of riders there that are very, very talented talented, but you know, some of those guys don't want to ride all the races, and it's an opportunity for this guy to step in and ride a few long shots and get a few of them home, and he'll catch on.
Majestic Doro's trying hard. Mamarina toward the inside. Goddess of Fire's late in the scene on the ones and twos behind that, but they are all chasing Hidden Connection. Hidden Connection streaking through the stretch to win the Pocahontas by 8 lengths on the wire. Hidden Connection is trained by Brett Calhoun with Reylu Gutierrez, the winning rider.
Reylu, talk about being the new guy in the room. It's happened to you a lot this year with all the traveling you've done. Do you have relationships with some of the guys in the Churchill Downs jockeys room, and how important is that?
Yeah, so I mean, it's I started my career in Gulfstream really, and Tyler was absolutely, he's a phenomenal rider. He's one of the kindest people as well, and he really introduced me, and helped me how to really go from a 10-pound rider to ride, and a lot of guys don't have a lot of patience for that, and he's at the top of the game now, and he really helped me with that. And same with Ricardo Santana, Florent Giroux. I was able to build relationships with them at Saratoga last year, and just there are a lot of guys you run into here and there, and you're cordially, hey, hello, how are you, and it'll go from there. And hopefully I can be around long enough that we can build good relationships. But also you have idols in there like Corey Lannery, and guys you really hope to emulate them and the types of careers that they've had.
All right, Reylu, well, best of luck, man.
Thanks,
Rooting
appreciate
for
it.
you.